would it be safe to say that from the outside looking in, it seems like your life is wonderful. Like people are, I remember people commenting to me like, oh, I'm so happy you're happy. It looks like you're living your fairy tale.
Absolutely.
And I believed that in the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, I really did. And I remember feeling so much like a princess, you know, and feeling like this is everything I could have ever asked for or dreamt of. Because with someone who's narcissistic, and a lot of times men will do this because they come in really trying to play the hero and the knight in shining armor. They want to learn and discover what all of your deepest desires are, so that way they can fulfill it or pretend like they're going to fulfill it. Or
not desires, your fears and weaknesses. Because that way they can use them against you later.
That's right. Yeah. So they're studiers. They are really studying you from the inside out, trying to gather as much information as they can. And so this is why I tell women when they're starting off with someone, just dating someone, to be really cautious about what they share about their personal life and their dreams and personal information, like things that they've been through, weaknesses, things like that, because you don't know why this person is asking these questions, and you want to learn over time that you can trust them, and they need to prove to you, babe, don't you think anyone needs to prove that they're trustworthy? Isn't trust earned?
Sure, but you know, some of these people can hold the facade for a long time. You know, your ex held it for over a year before you ever knew, right? So it can be tough, but if you do have a fight or a disagreement or whatever, and they start bringing up things that you have said to them, that's a really big red flag too. Because if they're using things against you before you even get married, it's only going to get worse.
So you notice, it's like you notice that they're keeping it in their memory bank.
Exactly.
To use and weaponize against you. Ooh, I like that. That's a good one.
Yeah.
So you remember certain things that she would say beforehand that were loving and kind of like promises of future, like how it was going to be, and then all of that changed and went out the window.
The usual,
basically.
yeah. You know, the usual, hey, you know, this is great, everything's going to be wonderful, you know.
Reassuring.
Sure, you know, but then you get married, and if you're with someone like this, as soon as the respect goes out the window, that's pretty much it. Your marriage is over, right? If someone starts calling you names, talking bad to you, talking down to you, being condescending to you, especially
quickly.
right off the bat, you know, I mean, big red flag, you know, but you know, just like you, day two, you know, boom, and you know, you're like, hey, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
You know? So,
who are you? Yeah.
Exactly, but you know, a lot of times people are stuck and they can't go anywhere, you know, for a variety of reasons. The person that I was with couldn't say that she was sorry.
Right.
And the entire time we were together, never said it one time during our entire relationship.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That's a big one.
If you can't ever apologize for anything, because you just don't want to take accountability for anything, can't even just suck it up and be like, you know, I know people that do that, even though they don't think, they give ingenuine apologies. They can't even give an ingenuine apology, you know, then there's a huge problem, right?
But I saw this really good thing in church one time, because we were going to church, and there was a 4-point plan that the pastor had up on the screen. It said, first thing you say is to your boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, spouse, whatever, I'm sorry, right? Good way to start. Next one, I was wrong. Please forgive me. And I love you. 4 things.
I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty good, right?
It is.
And if you can't even do that,
Right, just read off a script.
Yeah, it's like here it is. I'm sorry. It's not hard.
No, it's not.
For some
And you
people,
know
it
what?
is.
And that's why sometimes scripts are useful, right? Because it's like some people don't know how to apologize, and so if they have something to go by, then they can do it. But if they're not even willing to do that, that's a big problem. I remember
If this happens prior to you actually getting married, it's time to go.
Yeah,
It's
don't
time.
even
So
waste your time.
love bombing, bad.
Yeah.
Time to go. Right? Somebody can't say they're sorry. Not even worth your time.
No.
Right?
So my ex, he would apologize, and he would give, I would call them empty apologies, where it was kind of like he was just going through the motions, and just to say that he said he was sorry. And then he would say, I already apologized for that, after he would do the same thing again.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, you don't get to apologize, and then that excuses future, transgressions.
Yeah.
It's, you have to want to change the behavior because you care about the way that what you did affected that person, right? And so if you genuinely care and love, and this is something I love talking about, because it's like if you really love someone, you genuinely care about how you affect them.
Sure.
And so in that case, if you know that you did something rude or hurtful to that person, and you made them feel bad, you don't ever want them to feel that way again.
Sure.
And you want to
Make them feel
apologize
better.
and make them feel better. Yeah, that's what love is. Oh, baby. So trusting in someone takes knowing who they are, right?
Absolutely.
And seeing their values play out in their life, I
Yes.
think. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I noticed that with you, like this man has strong character, long-standing.
Notice that with you too. When she talks to her boys on the phone, this is one of the first ways I knew. They would tell her on the phone that they loved her first, and then she would come back and say, "I love you too." So if a teenage boy is telling their mother that he loves her in front of his friends, you're doing something right.
Oh.
So that was pretty good. I was impressed. I was.
Thank you,
You're
honey.
welcome.
Yeah, so it's those signs that you can tell right away, like you notice, you pick up on those things. So this is why it's so important to pay attention to their behaviors and to pay attention to
Actions.
actions
Not words, actions.
and their relationships with other people, how they're interacting with family and friends and just out in public in general. How are they polite to people? Do they interact with people well, or is there something off, about their behavior, and just paying attention to that, right?
Yeah.
So another thing I remember noticing in my marriage was that there were just these very unrealistic expectations, like what he was expecting from me didn't line up with reality. Do you think that it was the same way with her? From what you had shared with me, didn't she unrealistically play this very masculine kind of role? Like she had this masculinity about her that was trying to dominate the relationship.
Well, I can do anything right.
Yeah.
That was a big thing, and it wouldn't matter what it was. There's always a better way to do it, and it was always her way.
Right.
It's like, okay, so for a while I just let her do. Hey, if you want to do that, fine. But then she would do things or want to take something over, or I'd be gone and she'd do it, and then she'd want to do things so she could tell other people that she was doing it. You know what I mean? I do everything. You know, because they paint their picture to form their narrative.
That's right.
I do everything. They're just, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nobody helps, and I'm everybody's savior.
So they're like creating this false reality, right?
Yeah.
Because the way that they're painting it out is not true to what's really going on in their marriage.
Oh yeah, and I've gotten letters that would just say it's the same thing over and over and over again, and I'm like, wow, I was there.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I would send a note back and say, who are you writing this for exactly? I mean, are you writing this for your attorney? Because I was there, and that's not even close. I'm like, when you go to sleep, is that really what you think? You know?
Right.
The facts don't matter. Their feelings become facts.
Their feelings become facts. That is so true. Yeah.
You know, because, and like I said, I would look at things and, you know, and you're obviously writing this for somebody else, so you can show it to somebody else.
Yeah.
Because I've written 3 statements and I would get back a 30-page term paper.
Yes.
You know, and it's like, I'm not even reading that, or whatever.
Some of the things that you've shown me, I'm like, oh my gosh, is this the female version of my ex? Because the same kind of thing, just pages and pages of all these accusations and defenses and all this stuff that I'm just going, so then you're being gaslit, essentially. They're gaslighting you because, like you said, you're asking yourself, wait, was I there?
Yeah.
Because that is not at all how I remember it going down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of people, they end up feeling like they're losing their minds, truly, because the person convinces them that they've lost their mind, and they say you're crazy.
Yeah, and a lot of times they're going behind your back.
Yes.
To your mother, to your father.
Yep.
To your kids. You know, hey, you know, your mother, she's losing it. I really think she's going crazy. You know?
Y'all use the same tactics, right?
Pretty much.
I swear, I always say that it's like these narcissists go by the same playbook. They all do the same things, it seems like.
I've learned a couple of things hanging out with you.
Aww. I've learned a couple of things from you too.
Yeah, you know.
Yes.